This is the Detroit Sports Podcast Network.
CBD is a game changer sweeping the nation. This hemp extract is the natural way to elevate your mood, eliminate aches and pains, reduce anxiety, and keep you sleeping all night long. It can even cut your workout recovery time in half. Get in the game today with 20% off all orders of CBD and lavender products from Lavender Lane, a lavender farm located right here in Milan, Michigan. Just go to lavenderlanemi.com today and enter coupon code DETROIT for 20% off your entire order. Guys, look, these amazing products are infused with calming lavender to maximize their effectiveness, meaning your CBD items only take minutes to take effect, which is way quicker than those pills you were about to swallow. On top of it, they are perfect for men and women. Lavender Lane has lab-tested CBD creams, tinctures, and roll-ons that are perfect for any situation, even if you're on the go. Put your health back in your hands by heading over to lavenderlanemi.com and entering coupon code DETROIT for 20% off your entire order of CBD and lavender products. What do you have to lose? Your satisfaction is guaranteed or your money back. So if you need lavender gifts for your loved ones or just looking for the natural way to ease your discomfort with CBD, go to lavenderlanemi.com and use coupon code DETROIT to unlock these miraculous benefits of CBD and lavender. That's lavenderlanemi.com. And remember, use coupon code DETROIT for 20% off your CBD and lavender products from Michigan's own Lavender Lane.
You hear that, Greg?
I hear that, Mike.
Do you hear that?
I hear that.
Do you know what that means?
What does that mean?
Oh, every Wings fan out there knows this song. Oh, the NHL season is here. The Red Wings season is finally getting ready to kick off on Saturday. And I know that's a horrible pun for kickoff, but I'm pumped. I'm so excited that hockey's finally here. I just am ecstatic. Besides, I've been shaking all day. I've had the shakes all day.
What are you wearing right there, Mike?
I busted out a Wings jersey.
That's a pretty nice Wings jersey, buddy.
Busted out the home red.
Love it.
The preseason was good. I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was telling. I had no problems with what I saw in the preseason. The games were competitive. There was no, I mean, there was one
Except
blowout.
That last Toronto game, yeah.
Well, but that's when we know that nobody plays. Everybody that plays basically not going to make is not going to make the NHL roster.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That's that fourth preseason game in the NFL right there.
That's exactly what that was. Week 4. That's a great analogy. I thought the kids played well. I have this here in the notes too for the rosters. Who got sent to the minors? I'll get to that though. But the names were Veleno, Zadina, Svechnikov, Giovanni Smith, who I absolutely enjoyed watching play. He had a great fight, but obviously there's more. You got to do more than just fight.
Yep.
Unless your name's Darren McCarty, because that's how he got to the NHL and did a phenomenal job of it. Was kind of I don't even want to say disappointed is the right word, but Oliver Kasky, I had hopes for, and that's solely based on all the stuff that I read about him. He played well. He made some mistakes at times in a few of the games. I had notes in one of our previous episodes, just little turnovers, but again, some plays that he made that I thought were NHL plays that looked like he might have a shot. My biggest surprise was that Moritz Seider, the number 1 draft pick, got sent down. And it's funny because you kind of have to take this with a grain of salt because even though they're getting sent down for the opening game, and I have this, I think a handful of these players, if not all of them, are going to get time in the NHL this year. It's just not going to happen on opening weekend or opening week. It may take a month. It may take 2 months. Injuries happen. Things happen. There's trades, whatever it may be. Situations are going to present themselves where some of these kids get brought up. And I think one of the silver lining to all this group of players getting sent down, they're all going to be playing together. In my opinion, they're all very good players that, again, in my GM role, I think they deserved a shot. But when you get players like that playing against each other and against other guys like that, they're just going to get better.
It's also probably a function of they're going to get more playing time for a couple of months.
Without a doubt.
Right. And
without a doubt.
That's how you get better. You don't get better really sitting on the bench and playing 7 minutes a game.
Yeah,
you just don't.
Yeah.
So it sucks because they did pick him so high, and you and I talked many times about that's what we feel the Wings needed the most.
Sure.
Was the back end help. But
and
you know what? We're not screaming about how we're ready to go to the playoffs. We know that we're on that upward swing. Maybe it's about getting this guy some time, getting a little acclimated. Maybe they saw something we didn't see.
Sure.
I
mean, let's face it. We're two hacks with microphones doing a podcast.
Yeah, right?
I mean, of course.
Got to give the coach.
Of course, I trust what they're going to do. I mean, you have to trust what they're going to do, what they see. They're pros. We're fans. That's the difference.
Exactly.
But I will say, I saw a lot of bright spots in the preseason. I thought I saw a lot of good play. I was super impressed with Moritz Seider on defense.
I was too. I liked the vision that everybody had. It was like, comparing last year to this year, it was almost like at times they were trying to do something and they were clawing their way out of a burlap sack. Whereas this year, it looks to me like they're trying to do something and it's a concerted effort to try and getting the puck out of the zone,
right?
Making sure they're finding they looked more polished.
The overall play was up.
It was. It really, really was.
And like I said in the very first episode, that's all I was looking for. And again, preseason,
that's
wink,
right.
Wink, wink. I get it. I
Wink,
know
wink,
that.
nudge, nudge.
I'm fully aware of that. Like, the fan in me just wants to go nuts. Like Larkin had said, like, he's expecting playoffs. Well, what else you want the guy to say? I mean,
yes.
What else is he supposed to say as a professional other than, no, you know what? We're probably going to miss it by 30 points.
You mentioned that in the group chat the other day.
Yeah.
We're going to the playoffs, and I'm like, what the hell else do you expect him to say? We suck. We're going to win 5 games.
Yeah, we'll probably have another high draft pick.
Yeah,
I'm encouraged, but also the responsible trying to do a podcast that sounds intelligent, like I know what I'm talking about. I know that's probably not going to happen. In fact, John had sent me a message the other day, or I think he even put it in the Wings topic in the Flick Chat app, which is awesome, by the way. Percentage that you think the Wings make the playoffs, and I said 30.
Yeah,
and I think that's fair based on where they're at right now at this particular time with the amount of players they have, some of the quality of players what they have, which let's face it, they're stuck with for another year. Next year, I think you're going to see a completely revamped team with the amount of salary cap space that they have. It's encouraging. I think it's going to, I'm excited for this season. I'm legitimately excited for this season. Last year, I was just excited to watch hockey. This year, I'm excited to see the progression of this team and how much better they actually get, because I think they will get better.
Yes.
I absolutely think that they will.
Unfortunately, and people might get mad at me for saying this out there, I saw that post and I was so busy I didn't have a chance to say anything. I got to go lower than 30%, unfortunately. I probably like 15 or 10. And
no,
it's not that I don't want them to.
It's totally acceptable.
But, dude, when I look at the East, they're stacked. I mean, there's a lot of good teams. And even though there's a couple teams, like Columbus will not go to the playoffs this year, okay, with what they lost. So there's a spot open.
Right.
But you still got to go through the Lightning and the Maple Leafs and the Capitals and Boston. And you play those teams so many more times because of where we're at.
But here's the good thing with that. And again, just trying to look at play Mr. Brightside over here.
Yep.
I know John does that all that.
And you should, and that's where I was going to go with it, but I'm going to let you do it.
Right, but the difference is when John does it, he's just trolling us Michigan fans. What I'm doing, and I'm being legitimate bright side here for that, the Wings playing against those teams all year is going to make them better.
Absolutely.
That's the hope.
Right.
It may not, but I don't see how it can't when we have the level of players that we have, and it's fully, no, we're in a rebuild. Obviously, we're the year 2, literally, I mean, realistically, I can say we're in year 1.
Yeah.
Because Yzerman just took this team over.
Agreed.
Next year is going to be the fun year.
Next year will be with all the contracts going away.
The offseason next year is going to be like Christmas. It's going to be awesome. I hope.
Isn't today like Christmas, Mike? Isn't today like Christmas?
Today, you know what today's like? Today's like when you go to grandma's the week before Christmas or even Thanksgiving, and she says, "Hey, you want a present early? Do you want? Just don't tell mom and dad. You want a present?" And you get like,
and you get like a new car.
Yes, yeah, a new Benz or something like that. No, it is. It's exciting. I mean, the Wings don't play till Saturday, which sucks. But I know that when I leave here and I go home, I have an NHL game to watch, and it's the defending Stanley Cup champs.
It's a good game.
And it's a great game.
Yeah.
It's a great matchup. It's an awesome matchup.
I would like to see Detroit competitive with these elite East teams and beating the teams that they should be beating.
Right.
Not splitting those games. They need to win those games and try and split the high-end games. Will it happen? Who knows?
I'm expecting a few of like, oh my God, Detroit beat who?
Yeah.
They hang or beat with Washington or Pittsburgh
Or Carolina.
or Carolina or these, or Boston, which are, for God's sakes, freaking Tampa. I'm so tired of freaking losing to Tampa every single time that they play.
A lot of people are tired of losing to Tampa every time they play.
Just not the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Nope.
It's too soon.
No, it's not too soon.
Never too soon.
That's one of the most epic playoff collapses in history.
Ever. And that's putting them up against what Washington did here. But at least that was in later rounds.
Right.
That was usually in the conference finals.
Right. Well, the Kings took somebody out the year they won the Cup when they were the number 8 seed. So.
Yeah, and they squeaked into the playoffs.
Yeah.
But that collapse by Tampa was epic. Epic.
Yeah, it was bad.
I'm not going to lie.
It was really bad.
I enjoyed it.
I
enjoyed it.
I'm sure you did.
But moving on. So this is what I got. I got the official roster.
Nice.
Which is going to start off. No lines have been made. It's pointless to kind of figure out who's going to get paired with who, but the forwards that actually are on the team, and I made the joke earlier today I sent out a tweet, which I said, spoilers, all the adults made the team.
Yeah, I saw that.
There was no surprise kids except one, but I don't even know if he's qualified as a kid. We got forwards. We got Abdelkader, Bertuzzi, Adam Earn, Darren Helm, Anthony Mantha, and Jesus, what a preseason Mantha had.
Yeah, he looked really good.
That dude is a legit. It's funny because anytime I spell his name out, I capitalize man, and then I put THA in little letters because that dude is a man.
He is.
He is. If he's not poised to have a huge breakout 30-plus goal season this year, as long as he stays healthy, I don't see any reason why he can't.
I agree.
The cannon that he has when he...
It's almost like it's a T-shirt cannon.
I could go on and on. I'm telling you, he should have a huge, huge year this year, and just, God, stay healthy and stop fighting people, please. Just let Bertuzzi fight, because he's a scrappy kid too.
Yes, he is.
But the one, and I even have his name circled because I was pretty pleasantly surprised, and I was happy to see that him make the roster, was Taro Hirose. This kid, I don't even know what his age is, but when I saw that he made the roster, I was really excited because of the skill, the talent that it looks like he has when in the preseason. I think he's going to be a hell of a player, and I think he's going to be a player that stands out. You're going to hear his name quite a bit, hopefully. The centers is obviously Andreas Athanasiou. It's lightning in a bottle. He's what he did. Even what he was one of the players that had over 20 goals last year.
Yep.
Wings, and as bad as last year was, they had 3 players over 20 goals. He was one of them.
Yeah.
So it's not all gloom and doom. I mean,
correct.
I'm excited for, like I said,
3 players over 20 goals and no Mantha for most of the season.
And very terrible defensive play.
Yeah,
terrible
very
defensive play. So we got Athanasiou, Delarose, it's a great last name, EHN. That's just a hockey name. The return of Valtteri Filppula, which, again, coming back from Tampa, who left Detroit to go to Tampa, and now he's back. I'm excited to see him play because, he's experienced and he's good. Luke Glendening, Michigan Wolverine, good to see him on the team. He is the shortest guy. When I was looking at the size of the rosters, I'm like, God, there's nobody under 6 feet. Like, this is a big team.
Yes.
Except Glendening. He's like 5'10", 5'11". It's my size. Franz Nielsen and, of course, Dylan Larkin. And the biggest question mark is Dylan Larkin went down at practice yesterday, skated off under his own power, but there's been no updates. Nobody knows. Well, at least I don't, because I don't have any inside sources. He skated off under his own power, so that sounds good, but there's no update. Hopefully he's still able to play opening night, or at least the home opener, which is on Sunday against Dallas. So there's no word on that. Defense, which there really was no surprises on this. There's Bowie, Bowie, I don't know what the proper way, but I'll just say Bowie.
You call him David.
Dave, yeah, we'll just call him Dave. Had a great preseason. I liked him too. I thought he played solidly back there. I didn't see any bad turnovers, no horrible play.
I didn't see that from anybody, which I thought was.
Oh, I did.
Oh, you did,
Erickson.
I must have missed a couple. I know I missed a couple of games, but because I was out of town. But
you see what name I have last on my list? Erickson.
They don't even make those phones anymore.
I just keep telling myself next year. Cholowski, Daly, DeKaiser, Mike. I love Mike Green. I know there's some fans out there that are sour on Mike Green. He had an injury run there for a little bit. He's talented. He's good on the power play. He can score, but he plays sound defense most of the time. He has a hiccup every now and then, but I like him. He did well with the Caps. When we got him from the Caps, I was ecstatic. I couldn't believe that we had gotten him. Philip Hronik, young, but had a solid every time it seemed like I was watching the game, Mickey Redmond was talking good about him. The game that they played up in Calumet that was on TV against St. Louis, Jeremy Roenick had some great, glowing things to say about Hronik's play. Nemeth, the guy that we had signed from Tampa, and, of course, Eriksson. And the goalies they're going to roll with to start is, of course, Jimmy Howard is the starter, and Bernier is going to be the backup. Not horrible. Bernier was a pretty solid backup last year, as much of a car crash as last season was. Played strong at times, but to me, this is Jimmy Howard's season to either shine or be permanently out of just the discussion. I mean, I personally, and I know I talked about it when we were talking to Sean Belesian, he needs to have a bounce-back solid year, consistent year, not give up 3-4 goals a game.
We don't need out-of-this-world goaltending. We just need
no, but there's times where
goaltending.
you need to have a goalie that can come out of nowhere and steal a game.
Agreed.
Like Bennington did through the entire freaking last 4 months of the season.
Yeah, every night.
Which is superhuman. No goal, you can't expect any goalie to do that. Or, stuff like legendary goalies did, like Hasek. Hasek, when he played for the Wings, obviously you expected that, but there was times when he was with Buffalo would win a game specifically because Hasek kept him in the game.
I think Buffalo only won games because of Hasek.
That is strongly debatable, and you're right. There's you can argue
they were not a good team.
No, and you need. I'm not going to say players like that all the time, but Jimmy needs to be able to step up and have games like that where, like, man, Howard stood on his head, thankfully, and that helped him win 3-2 or 4-3 or whatever it may be. He needs to be able to steal games, and he's capable of that. He's done that. He's made the All-Star game. He's that kind of goalie. He just hasn't been lately, and that's been brutal.
Yep.
I mean,
it hurts.
But, and you have made the point before, you're only as good as your defense in front of you, and if they're not helping you, you can only expect so much. So I'm hoping that this defense is going to be a little more sound, a little more fundamental this year. Stop with the cross-ice passes in front of the net, which can give any hockey fan a stroke in their own zone. If you don't throw the puck across your own
zone. No, you don't.
You don't throw it across your own goalie. You get it up the boards and out and keep it to the side and keep it away from the middle. But we shall see. So that's the opening roster, barring any injuries going forward. That's what it's going to start off with. So what I did, we're going to start a little weekly fun segment.
Sweet.
So what we're going to do is we generally record on Thursdays. A little different this week. It's a Wednesday. But what we're going to do is we're going to pick the games leading up until we meet again. We're going to see who's going to win. But we're also going to mix it in. We're going to pick a player to score a goal. That's going to be a bonus point. So we've got 3 games leading up till next week, going through next Tuesday. We've got Nashville at home on Saturday. At Nashville's home on Saturday. So we're away Saturday at Nashville. Sunday back at Detroit against Dallas. Tuesday at home against Anaheim. So there's 3 games. So what we're going to do is, for Nashville, what do you got? Give me who's going to win, and for Detroit, who scores a goal?
That's so hard because...
Trust me, I know. And I totally ripped this off from Fox Sports, the home broadcast, because the Fox Sports announcers... They all do this. They pick a goal. It's fun.
No, I like it. It's just hard because you don't.
It's tough.
You don't know. Like we've watched Detroit, and we have a feel for Detroit, but we know jack squat about Nashville.
No. You're just picking a Detroit player.
Oh, Detroit player.
You're just picking a Detroit player to score a goal.
I'm going to go with Abdicator in the first game.
Wow, you're going to start off with Abby.
Yep.
Okay, and who wins the game?
I think Nashville wins.
Damn, I had the same thing. So I have Nashville also winning the opener in Nashville, but I am going to go with Mantha, which sounds too easy, but I mean, I'm just trying to get the point.
Understood.
Okay, so that is the first one. Second one, we have the home opener on Sunday against Dallas. Who do you got?
I think they beat Dallas.
Me too. So we both go with Detroit. Who do you got? Goal scorers.
I'm going to go with Mantha.
That's fine. You can, because I am going to go with Bertuzzi. He's just awesome. Okay, back home on Tuesday against the Ducks. Who do you got?
I'm going to go with Earn.
Okay. Who wins the game?
I think Detroit wins that game. I'm not impressed with anything I've seen out of Anaheim in a couple years.
I also am going with Detroit, but I am going to go with Valtteri Filppula.
I don't like that guy. No, I'm kidding.
Screw that guy. Okay. So in the first game, you've got Nashville with Abdelkader. I've got Nashville with Mantha. Game 2, we both have Detroit. You've got Mantha. I've got Bertuzzi. And the third game next Tuesday, we both have Detroit as well. So we cap off the first 3 games going 2-1. You've got Adam Earn, and I've got Philp. So we'll see.
We'll see.
Keep that for the next, and we'll just keep the points going throughout the season. I know it's tough picking a player, but man, that makes that extra point tough to get.
Yeah,
it makes that extra point.
Well, you could legitimately just pick the same guy every night too. You know what I mean?
I mean, you could, but
that's not fun.
It's exactly what fun is that?
How about we set the rule that you can't pick the same player more than once a week?
Fair enough. Or back to back.
Okay.
Consecutive games. Okay, so it is written. Passed.
So let it be done.
Passed. Majority rules.
All right.
Okay, so God, I'm so excited. I'm just giddy.
You've had a smile on your face ear to ear all day.
Permagrin. I have had Permagrin, and you know what the not the crappy thing is? I have tickets to go see the Joker Saturday night, so I'll catch probably the third period when I get home. But my phone, of course, will be blowing up with Bleacher Report and stuff, and I'll try not to. I'm going to DVR it. I almost said TiVo. I'll DVR it,
potato,
and I'll, depending on the condition I'm in when I get home, I'll go back and either rewatch it or just pick it up live and see where it's at. I guess it just depends on what the score is.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So, added a fun little bonus round in here for this week. I mean, because it's the beginning of the season. We've got to do something fun, right?
Yep.
So, as many of you should know or don't know, Greg and I have our own podcast that we do, which is called Top 5 for Fighting, which you can listen to every week on the same places you can for Detroit Sports Podcast Network. Spotify, Stitcher, Apple, Podomatic, and iHeartRadio. We're sitting at the big kid table now.
We are. We're
on iHeartRadio.
I'm a big boy now.
And on Twitter, you can follow us too, at Putty2773. Greg is at GBish75.
G Bishop 72.
There you go. And then, of course, at Top 5 for Fighting. But it's all about hockey right now. So, basically, in our podcast, what we do every week is we take a top 5 category of something and we pick our top 5 or worst 5 or hated 5 or whatever that topic may be, which is a lot of fun. But one of my favorite things to do is talk about NHL uniforms and which ones I love, which ones I don't like. So I figured this week I'd go with our top 5 NHL uniforms. So what I did is I just went through and not necessarily going to say, certain jerseys are bad or whatever. I'm just picking out the ones that are most memorable to me and what I'm going with as far as my top 5 all-time NHL uniforms. So here we go. My number 5. It almost pains me to say it. The Tampa Bay Lightning. What they wore in the early 2000s with the black uniforms.
Yep.
With the bolt on the black bolt on the pants, which I think they brought back.
They do. It's like a Sunday uniform.
Yeah, it's those black uniforms. I believe when they won the cup, that run, which is basically their original uniforms that they were rolling with, I just thought were awesome. That the black, the silver, the white stands out. Just an awesome hockey uniform for sure. So that's my number 5.
My number 5 is just about any alternate Carolina Hurricane jersey that they wore last year. There were some pretty sweet ones.
I don't know who's sitting in the office of that marketing team that's putting those things together, but kudos to them.
Yeah, they definitely watch a lot of Queer Eye.
They bring their A game.
Yeah, they do.
Because oddly enough, my number 4, the Carolina Hurricanes. Specifically, last year the ones they wore that were all black with the hockey stick on the chest, waving the 2 Hurricane flags up on top of each other. That was a sick uniform.
It was.
All black, the red tied in. I think it had a little bit of white piping on it around the red so it would pop. Just an awesome uniform. But you're right. The other ones that they've worn, fantastic. Loved them.
I like the Columbus Blue Jackets. Just because of the red, white, and blue, the logo, it's a real classy look. It's a clean look. It's not too much. It's not enough. I just always kind of thought that was a very solid uniform.
And it was our region in the Civil War, so okay.
Absolutely.
So why not?
Right?
I couldn't pick them because they're in freaking Columbus. Moving on.
I know. Hard enough. I know. I get it.
Yeah.
Hey, but you know what? They don't beat up their cheerleaders on a regular basis.
You don't know that. I'm just kidding. They're hockey players, so you know that they don't do that. All right, my number 3, I mean, absolutely historic. Very little changes over the years. The Montreal Canadiens. When you see a Canadiens jersey, that is you know who that is off the bat. There's nothing fancy about it. The C, it's, I mean, there's nothing really much you can say about the Canadiens uniform. It's just historic. Original 6, it's been around. It feels, since the beginning. That's just a classy, historic uniform. So they had to be on this list.
Yep.
I wouldn't be a real hockey fan if they weren't on the list.
Agreed.
So that's what I went with at number 3.
This one will probably upset some of our fans.
Don't even say Pittsburgh.
No, it's not
Okay,
Pittsburgh.
we're good then.
I like the Bruins home jerseys.
No, I can't fault you there.
They kind of mix the brown and the black and the yellow and it together.
Yep.
It's a clean hockey look because of the
Original
just the way
6.
they do it. Yeah.
You can say that, but you can pick any original 6 team. Their uniforms just stand out. Like you know who they are as soon as you look at it.
Yep.
You just know right off the bat. Obviously, because we're hockey fans, of course we're going to know. And I don't hate Boston.
You don't like Marchand.
I don't like Marchand.
You know what? There's a lot of Boston fans that don't like Marchand.
And I don't like Chara either. I think he's one of the dirtiest cheap shot and defensemen that happens to be 10 feet tall. He's good. I just
really good.
don't like him.
I wonder how effective he's going to be this year, not to change the subject, just
fine.
because of his age. He's going to be 42, 41 this year.
Defensemen have a way of staying in the league longer than the forwards do.
They do, but he's so physical.
You're right. He is.
And that's got to go at some point.
I'll give you an example. Chris Chelios.
Yeah?
Very physical.
Yep.
But he's also said in the later years of his career, he learned, and I hope I'm getting this right, when he was playing with Nick Lidstrom, he learned it's not about the physicality of everything. It's just being in the right spot at the right time, and that's what extends your career, especially on the defensive end. It's harder on the offense because you're going at it harder. In defense, you're trying to play it smarter, and you're back more. But he was really physical earlier in his career too. But towards the end, he got to be a really good defenseman. Didn't fight as much. He was always scrapping with, stirring the shit with people.
Elbows and stuff.
But that being said, he was also very good, and that's why he played into his late 40s.
Yes.
And people still were scared of him, even though he played a lot smarter, and that's why he was able to play so long. Look at Nick Lidstrom. Jesus. He played, it felt like 50 years.
Yes, he did.
But you never saw him fight. You never saw him scrap. You just saw him play good defense.
It's actually, I just looked it up, 52 years.
Yeah, exactly. Right on. Half a century. But again, he's a Hall of Famer because of the way he played defense. Literally, to just play, he wasn't a scrapper. He wasn't known. I don't remember ever seeing him fight anybody. But it's just the way that he played, and that's how those guys can play longer. So Chara, you're right. I don't know how much longer can he go because he dishes a lot. But being big like that, he takes some big hits because of his high center of gravity as well.
Yep.
So I don't know. We'll see. I hate him.
Fair enough.
Point being,
the rivalry's real.
Yes, the hate is real. My number 2, and my Canadian buddies up north will appreciate this, the Calgary Flames. I love the Flames uniforms. That flaming sea, whether it's the red or the white, the way it stands out on the uniform, the way it looks, I really want Calgary to... I love watching Calgary playoff games because of the crowd, because the entire crowd's wearing a Calgary Flames jersey.
Yes.
You don't see that anywhere else in the league. They'll all wear white T-shirts like Winnipeg or whatever like that. The Saddle Dome is filled with fans wearing the same colored jersey.
Because it's so damn cold, eh?
Yeah, and plus there's nothing else to do up there, right?
Yeah.
Except freeze to death.
Right.
The Flames uniforms are awesome. And then the ones that they busted out that actually say Calgary across the chest, but they have the C underneath.
Yes.
Just
those are cool.
Sharp.
I like the black ones. They wear the black one every now and then. That's just because it's black and red.
In black and red always looks good.
It does.
I mean, it just the way it looks on a sports uniforms. I've always liked different sport, but the Cincinnati Bearcats, college football team, always have sharp uniforms, and it's always black, white, red, or some mixture of that, and they always just look sharp.
Yeah.
So yeah, Calgary Flames, number 2.
I don't have any love for this team. I don't really care for them. I don't root for them. But it's hard to pull off orange in a uniform, and I think the Flyers do it pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, that's another one. Been around a long time.
Yeah.
It's just recognizable, but yeah, it's
I don't like them.
sir, you shouldn't.
Yeah,
There's no reason
not
for
much,
you to like that
There's
team.
not much about Philadelphia I do like, except the food. But I used to have to work a lot in Philadelphia, and the best three best things about Philadelphia: eating, and leaving.
Well,
it.
there's a number 4.
What's that?
If I may. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, but I can watch that wherever.
I love that show.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
I don't have to go to Philly to watch it, though.
The bad thing is that's what most people in Philadelphia are like. No, I'm just kidding.
I've heard.
Philly's rough.
I've heard
Philly's
story.
rough.
All right, number 1.
You're number 1.
All time. Now, a side note. My number 1 all time is always going to be the Wings uniforms, but I excluded them for obvious
you
reasons.
You have to, yeah.
So technically, this is my number 2 all-time uniform, no matter what mixture that they've wear, whatever. Edmonton Oilers. That uniform is just awesome. The orange, the white, the blue.
I was going to say just enough orange in there that you see it. Yeah.
I mean, that orange.
Kind of forgot about them with
that
the
orange jersey that they wear. I mean, it stands out. Like it's like a highlighter, but the way the blue ties in, the Oilers logo, I absolutely love. I mean, again, original 6, historic. The Edmonton Oilers uniforms are fantastic.
Yes, I agree.
Love everything about it.
This is a uniform that I saw, and I can't remember where I saw it, and I've only seen it once. But I don't know if it was something that they were doing for opening night this year or if they did it last year. But the Blues had a 50th anniversary sweater.
Yep.
With the gold instead of the yellow.
Yes.
It was sweet.
Yep.
That's my number 1. It was really cool.
I'll agree with you because and I have 3 honorable mentions that I couldn't leave off of here at all because they're also so good. But
go for it.
Real quick, the Atlanta Thrashers, no longer part of the league.
Oh, they were so cool. That was a really neat uniform.
That I don't even know what you'd call that logo, that like tornado with a varmint sticking out of it.
Yeah, they should have called them the Tasmanian Devils, but
right. The light blue sweater that they had.
Yes.
The black. The Thrashers uniforms were just cool. It's sad that they didn't make it yet again because that's the second time Atlanta's had a hockey team.
Yep.
Which Calgary Flames.
Yes.
The other one that I you don't see very often, but the Islanders did it, and there was a fisherman on the chest, and it was holding a hockey stick, and it said Islanders underneath it.
I don't think I've ever.
You'll have to Google it because it is awesome looking. It's cool. I don't see them very often, but when I did see it, I was like, holy crap. And the other one on here that I just had to mention was the Vancouver Canucks when they wore the black, red, and yellow.
That was before they changed over to the sea and the shark.
Pavel Bure played.
Yep.
Yes, those uniforms were just tight.
Yeah, those were cool.
They were just awesome. I love those as well.
I would like to say something real quick.
What do you got?
There's a reason why hockey is really the best sport around.
Do tell, sir.
Do you know who Layla Anderson is?
Who's Layla Anderson?
She's the young girl that was the St. Louis Blues fan.
Yes. Now that you say that, yes.
Did you see what the Blues did for her the other day?
No.
They gave her a ring.
That's hockey.
There's only one way to say it. That's badass.
That's hockey.
They gave her a Stanley Cup ring, and it was personally presented to her by Colton. I'm gonna mess his name up. Periaco and Alex Steen. They went to her house and gave her that, and had her in Boston for Game 7. If you remember last year, the ice.
Yes, I do remember that. That's why I love hockey. It's just stuff like that. I just think it's more fan friendly.
It is.
I do, and it's not to say the other leagues don't do stuff for their fans because they do. I know Cam Newton gives balls to kids. I love that about him.
Yeah.
I hate the way he dresses, but the stuff he does with kids is fantastic.
Yeah, but you know what? He not to change the subject, catches a lot of crap.
Sure,
but he's never involved in any BS off the field.
No, not at all.
He dresses goofy, but does a lot of charitable work and is always a decent human being.
He's too busy shopping.
Yeah.
But the pregame, after the game,
I say it, women be shopping.
Yeah, right. Just the way the hockey players are always giving kids pucks after warm-ups. They're giving sticks on the way out. They're always making sure they're slapping hands with kids.
Yeah.
But that story right there, I mean, how do you not love that? I mean, there's a little girl going through something that you hope no kid ever has to go through, and then the team gets wind of it and not only brings her a game but gives her a Stanley Cup ring.
Yeah.
Come on. I
A
mean,
ring. And have you seen those rings? Those rings are sweet.
Unbelievable.
Sweet.
It's if you haven't seen it yet, go to Google and look St. Louis St. Louis Stanley Cup ring. It is top notch.
Let's hope that within the next 3 years we can see one of those that's in red and white.
If not, we can go back and look at the other 4 that we have. So, hey, I got to keep it positive.
Yeah, you
right?
do. Yeah, you do. All right, real quick before we're out of here,
Go.
who wins the cup? Give me your East and your West finalist. It's hard to say right now, but from what you see preseason,
it's too hard to say now. But obviously, you have to put Tampa there. I cannot pick against Tampa.
they're still the best team in the league.
You cannot tell me that they're still not the odds-on favorite to come out of the East. Granted, that historic meltdown that they had in the first round, it is what it is. It happened. It does happen. It happens to the best teams. Detroit got swept by New Jersey the year before they finally put everything together and won. I have to pick Tampa out of the East.
I agree.
Put it this way: Tampa, Pittsburgh, Boston. Just pick one. I mean, it's
don't rule out Washington.
Washington's still Washington, but
yeah,
it's
don't rule out Boston.
It's that's what I mean. In the East, it's tough to pick.
It is.
The West, the West seems like it's so close. Like it doesn't have any of those big thoroughbreds like the East does. So I'm just going to say this: the West doesn't matter.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. I don't know. I don't think it's St. Louis again.
I could
only
see
because
San Jose.
I think they probably got the best shot. Them in Vegas.
Rightfully say you should say St. Louis.
You should.
But to see what they did,
I don't think he can do that again.
I don't think you can repeat that 2 years.
Just going back to the Stanley Cup Finals, 6 games 5, 6, and 7.
No, yeah, absolutely.
All those shots that were bouncing off his chest, it was like he was Quicksilver. It was like he was just in another world. I think that's so hard to do on a year-in basis. Maybe he's the second coming of Hasek, but I just kind of where
we'll see. This is going to be, what happened in the playoffs happened in the playoffs. The whole last season, half of the season last year, you could say, but this year, is Bennington that good?
Agreed.
He was good enough to win the cup last year. He was good enough to get his team to the playoffs and win the cup. This year, can he do it again?
Right.
For a full season. So we'll see. But, you could throw teams like San Jose. We say this every year, and San Jose always seems to put up a big fight and make everyone pay attention only to collapse.
Goodbye in the second round.
Vegas, don't give up 4 goals in 5 minutes. And
right.
You're probably in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah.
That team isn't going anywhere. They haven't really lost anything. So, you could say St. Louis, San Jose, Vegas.
That's kind of where I'm falling.
Those 3, but God, the season, 82 games, trade deadline.
It's a long time.
That's what I love
Injuries.
about hockey. We've got like 7 months.
I know, right?
So we got a lot of hockey in front of us. So
yay!
I'm just excited. For the Wings, it's a big year. I think it's a perfect year for Wings fans because the expectations are realistically not that high. They should be somewhat high just to see improvement. And I've said this, I've preached this week after week. Just get better. Play better. Don't shoot yourselves in the foot. Don't go on 6-7 game losing streaks.
That's the important one.
Put some winning streaks together.
You ain't got to win 6 or 7 in a row, but you can't lose 6 or 7 in a row.
You can't do that. Don't, just a lot of control the play a lot better. Don't look like you're on a penalty kill when you're full strength for 4 minutes. That is frustrating to watch.
Yes, it is.
But I'll say this in closing. Based on the preseason, I think they're heading in the right direction.
Me too.
I hope to see some of these younger kids up playing sooner than later. We'll see what happens. You never know how that's going to play out. I do think all 5 of those kids are going to see time up this year, and it's up to them to make that time worth it, to make it pay off, really.
I agree.
Make them have a hard time sending you back down.
That's right.
And I think, you can say that in any sport, really, but I think there's a lot of talent in that youth pool.
Make them have a hard time keeping you down there, too.
Yep. Make them struggle with it and give them a reason to keep you up there.
I agree.
So let's get the season started.
Yeah.
So that's it for this week. We'll be back again next week, every week now, with our picks, review of the games, see how they played. Next week, we'll see how they fare through these first 3 games, see where we're at, the high notes, the low notes, the fun stuff, the bad stuff. We're going to cover it all.
But most importantly,
the
hockey notes. Because it's back, guys. It's
Thank
back.
God. Thank God. So till next week, of course, don't forget, you can always get a hold of us on Twitter at TopShelfDSP. You can find me at Putty2773.
At GBishop72.
And I am going to work on getting us a Facebook and an Instagram.
Nice.
I had a little talk with John just about, broadening our listener viewership or interaction and stuff. And Twitter is not, it's tough to do, but Instagram and Facebook are the big ones. So I'm going to get that in place. I'm going to start working on those this weekend, get something going so we can, throw in some extra stuff to reach out to more people and more Wings fans. Because let's face it, more Wings fans, the better, right?
That's right. And if you like what you hear here on our unbelievable hockey knowledge and you just want to hear us be knuckleheads, check out Top 5 for Fighting.
Yeah. And as usual, keep up the chatter in the Flick Chat app, which John has done a phenomenal job with. That is a lot of fun.
Yes, he has.
Talking to all you guys and interacting during games, during whatever it may be, wrestling, which we're getting ready to watch here in the next hour or so. And we'll talk to you guys again next week.
And most importantly, go Lions.
Go Lions.
Go Blue.
Go Blue and go Wings.
Go Wings.
We'll talk to you guys next week. Thanks for listening.